We had a pretty disgusting month for Bitcoin as we saw like a 27% dump in 30 days, which that's not supposed to happen anymore because traditional finance is here, right? Well, Bitcoin's not looking good. We broke down below $80,000 despite all of the very popular analysts, not myself, because I'm not an influencer. We're talking about the Tommy Lees, the Winklevoss twins, and the Michael Saylors, all those guys. They're the influencers, not me. I just report the news. I'm just a bimbo on the internet. But the reason why I'm not worried at all is because of BlackRock. Did you know that BlackRock's most profitable product was the Bitcoin spot ETF? Did you know? I'm not worried. BlackRock's not worried. Why would I be worried? Remember, we talk a lot about traditional finance being able to weather extreme market conditions. These guys will just hold on to unrealized losses until the end of time, either until they file bankruptcy or until number goes back up. And we have to start thinking about traditional finance. We have to start watching them and paying attention to how they play the game because they're the ones that are making money. And the whole reason why we Bitcoin and the whole reason why we crypto is that reason. Let's go faster, nonstop. I love the addicts. So good. Thank you so much to Mr. R. But let's go ahead and get into it. We'll talk about the current state of the market. We're not blurry today because I'm home. I'm not in a hotel. The hotel was gorgeous. I stayed at the Lafayette in San Diego, and I've always wanted to stay there. It's gorgeous. And it was fun. It was really fun to see how people interact. Because I'm born and raised LA County, so I normally go out to like the rock gigs and those types of stuff. But it's a little bit different. But anyways, let's talk about the current state of the market. Thank you guys so much for joining. Good morning to YouTube, to TikTok, to Twitch, to Rumble, to all of you amazing people. We got to give a shout out to my YouTube babes. Always Mr. Lawrence, because he always shows up with the $10 super chat. I'm going to get some Arby's today. I got to go to the doctor, so I'm going to get a little bit Arby's. I love my Arby's, and it's not too unhealthy for you. So good morning to Lawrence, to Mr. Dale, to Mr. Mike, to Mr. R, to Aloha J, to Legend. Who else? Mr. Lawrence. Yeah, we did hair and makeup today. My hair's washed. It's washed. I did. All right, but let's go ahead and talk about the current state of the market because a lot of people are freaking out. Honestly, I'm completely unbothered. And I know that might sound, I don't want to say it's going to sound sensitive, but that's just my personal opinion. And the reason why I'm completely unbothered and it's not just kind of looking at everything is because I know that every single cycle is different. And my strategy and what I do, I talk to you guys about it consistently. Sometimes I don't always do dedicated videos about that, but on the live streams, I reiterate the same thing. We make moon bags. We de-risk consistently. We take profit. Don't you talk about Arby's. Don't you dare. I love Arby's. It was like a special thing growing up. But also too, I understand that there's people that are a lot smarter than me. They have more capital than me. They're more well-versed than I am. There's always going to be someone smarter than you at the other end of the table, okay? Always. So I understand that. I know that I'm a bimbo. I know that's what most people think of me, even though I'm actually pretty smart despite things. And I'm actually right about a lot of the things that I do say, or I'm on the right track. So I regurgitate that information to you guys because I think it's important. The reason why I do that is because I know that you guys are intelligent. You guys are smart. You are able to come up with scenarios that make sense. So I'm not going to tell you how to trade. I'm not going to tell you how to invest, but I'm completely unbothered. And the reason why I'm unbothered is because we've seen this type of thing happen before. And it's not a bad thing. It's just changing and it's shifting. I do feel a little bit of depression, though. I can say that. And the depression is not really so much with crypto. It's more so with like, oh, thank you, Lawrence, for the $10 super chat. But it's more so like the current state of the world. Like that's a little bit depressing for me to kind of witness like the brand new generation, to see them struggling and to see the absorption of life with AI, which is a little bit scary. So it's a little bit depressing for me. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older with the whatever it is, but we're here. So let's go ahead and cover it. Some people are dumb and that's okay. I'm dumb in certain things, but I think most people are intelligent enough. I do. You just have to work at it. So these are the three things that I think will help a little bit, help you. Number one, show up every single day. Showing up is half the battle. Number two, work harder. No matter what you do for work, whether it's minimum wage, whether it's, I work minimum wage customer service jobs like 20 years of my life, you always show up and you always work harder, even a little bit extra, little bit extra. Well, you're using it the proper way, Lawrence. And the last thing, the third thing is confidence. Confidence, even if you fake it till you make it, it'll take you so far in life. It really, really will. So do those things and you will succeed. All right, let's get into the market. All right, so this is the current state of the market. We suck. This is the daily. Yikes. Pretty nasty gains. Zcash is dropping a lot. I'm going to just pull up the chart. I had a bunch of people ask me, hey, Wendy, should I buy Zcash at the top? I always tell you guys to do what you want to do. I personally do not buy stuff like this. I don't buy stuff that looks like this, primarily because I'm just not going to. But we actually had a really gnarly price drop today. We're currently retesting the, what are we retesting? We are testing the EMA 100. At about 334. So if you bought, a lot of people were asking me to buy over here about the $7 range. I said I wasn't going to, just because I don't want to get dumped on. Now, can we get a complete retrace to like 200 or even back down to 62 where we were before and not go back up? Yeah, that can be it. You have to remember, there's a lot of people that have very, very, very heavy bags in Zcash. A lot of heavy bags, and they are. People are offloading. And is that a bad thing? No, it's part of the way the game goes. But you just have to think of it that way. You have to think about who has what, how long have they been holding. And also, too, when we're taking a look at the Zcash chart, it was going sideways at like $30 to $60 for what? Like how long? Very, 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 very long time. Very, very long time. So very long time. Since what? Like 2022? And it's an older coin. I do think the privacy narrative is important. If we do have some sort of altcoin season, we will see. I'm actually going to do a second video about that because I really want to cook and I want to explain what I think will happen with that if that does end up happening. Because it's basically what's going to happen is if we do have another altcoin season, or if we have some sort of altcoin season outside of what we're going to see happen with the ETFs, a lot of people are going to come in and build really dope stuff for privacy. Those will move. But in crypto in general, I would anticipate a lot of layer ones to go away because a lot of them just are not doing what they need to do properly to market or to hit their target audience. Now, taking a look at Bitcoin, what do we see happen? I know I'm talking too much, right? So this is Bitcoin. This is just on the daily. We dropped from $90,000 to about $83,000. When we take a look at the weekly is just ugly, really just ugly. So far, we had like a bullish weekly earlier. We had a bullish week. We opened here at 86,000, got a swing look high to 93, and we closed at $90,000, and then we just dumped. There's a lot of drama. I did an update, a recap yesterday for you guys about kind of the drama we're seeing on crypto Twitter. China's talking about banning crypto again. People are like misconstruing what's going on with South Korea, which is actually not a bad thing. I'm going to get to that probably towards the end of the show. All the microstrategy stuff, which is something we've talked about on the show, is the business model is not necessarily sustainable, and I think it's absolutely insane that you're able to create traditional financial instruments to raise money to buy a finite asset. The stock market is a massive Ponzi scheme, okay? These types of things can most definitely blow up. But again, BlackRock's kind of leading here. And what was the other one? Oh, the Tether fund. We always have Tether fund. So we're going to talk about that. So market's just not looking great right now, okay? Now, Master's not a Ponzi? Okay, cool. I think everything in the stock market's a Ponzi. That's just me, though. But just a bimbo on the internet, okay? Just a bimbo on the internet. So we're not looking great at all on the weekly. Taking a look at the daily, also not looking great. But I want to show you the monthly chart because we got the monthly close yesterday. Just looking at the monthly, we had a high of $111,000 and a low of $80,000. And that was a 27% drop. 27% drop. Good morning to gorgeous Alexandra and to Julie. But that's what we're seeing with Bitcoin. Is that great? No, that's not great. It's bad. But at the same time, we could rebound. Things can go back up. We'll see. We'll just kind of see. We'll take it day by day and see how it goes. The good thing about Bitcoin prices, though, about being as low as they are, in my personal opinion, one of the things I like that we can actually do now in 2025, and it's getting closer and closer to actually happening at banks. I love the CMC 20, and I love to see that hedera is there. Hello. But one of the things that I do like about Bitcoin price dropping like this is, me personally, again, not financial advice, because we are partnered with Ledn, but you can get Bitcoin back loans. And the cool thing about getting a Bitcoin back loan during times like times of the market dropping and being incredibly volatile, it's better to get a loan when that happens. That's just my personal opinion. So this is definitely something that I'm going to be looking into more, because I don't want to sell my Bitcoin. That is the only backed, there is an only crypto asset that I will continue to hold that I would take loans out against. So shout out to our partners over at Ledn. Let's see. There we go. That's more better. They offer simple, flexible Bitcoin-backed loans, which means you can borrow against your Bitcoin without selling, which is not a taxable event. The loans run for 12 months, and you can repay whenever you're ready. Just stay within the terms. And Ledn just launched a new market-leading 0.5% trade spread, giving you up to 1.4% more Bitcoin on every transaction compared to competitors. The new pricing applies to buying and selling Bitcoin, B2X orders, loan repayments, and even liquidations. As always, talk to your CPA, talk to your financial advisors, see if it makes sense for you. The link is going to be down below. But Ledn also has a 7-year track record with $10 billion in loans, originated in a perfect history of protecting users. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because Bitcoin is one of those assets that I'm not going to be selling personally. I'm going to be holding on to that long term and passing it down to my daughter and to my nephew and whomever else that I want to. And the reason why is because there are going to be a lot more products like this that are going to continue to be created, and you might want to use that to the best possible way. Because again, you can hold on to use your cash for other things, but use your crypto assets. Obviously, got to talk to your CPA and see if it makes sense to kind of to use those to buy property. Because again, I think that property is incredibly important, houses, those types of things, and you guys know how I feel about that. Now, with that being said, is it what MicroStrategy is doing? Kind of, sort of. But we're talking about accredited investors and non-accredited investors as institutions. Ledn actually allows you to retail to do things, because this type of stuff isn't available at the banks. But again, you got to talk to your CPA and whatnot. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. But more so, back to what's happening with the crypto markets. Like we saw Bitcoin with this 25% drop. Like, what's going to happen with the markets next? Well, right now it's not looking very promising on the monthly. Very not promising on the monthly. But we've got wonderful people like, Mr. Tom Lee. He's the Ethereum bull. Let's go ahead and hear what he has to say about Bitcoin here.
I do think Bitcoin can make an all-time high by the end of January. So I don't think we should think the highs are in place for Bitcoin or Ethereum or crypto. So a lot of it's going to depend on equities recovering, which we expect it to, and that helps the animal spirits. And I think a new Fed chair will help. And we have, as Becky said, when people got worried about a hawkish Fed, that kind of hurts the discount models, the discounted cash flow models like AI models, but it hurts.
Okay. So he's talking about AI doing all these things and Bitcoin, Bitcoin price coming up if we get a new Fed chair, those types of things. And quantitative tightening is supposed to end today. So basically it's going to impact the money supply. But at the same time, it's like we have quantitative tightening and quantitative easing, and we're able to kind of manipulate how much money is going into the market. But realistically, that's not going to solve any of the problems that America has right now, honestly. Like, we're going to need entire policy reform to get things better. Like, the middle class is struggling like crazy, despite Black Friday sales being at like all-time high of $11.8 billion, which is up 9.1% from last year. But again, people are just buying on credit. And if you're buying on credit, does that really show strength? Does this show strength? Well, this is why I'm blaming like Michael Saylor and Tommy Lee, not the drummer Tommy Lee, because in order for Ethereum to hit $10,000, Tom Lee is going to have to channel his inner Tommy Lee and be a little bit of a degenerate in that aspect, okay? So Bitcoin will rebound when it's ready. It's not going to go to zero. A lot of the other altcoins I'm not as confident in, primarily because a lot of these projects, they have not been able to pivot the right way. They have not been able to create products and services for regular people. People like myself, people like you, whatever. Like, we can just use stable coins now. That's kind of what's happening. And there's a lot of missed opportunity. in my personal opinion. I mean, Ethereum is going to be okay. I'm gonna show you something in a second, but where's my Ethereum story? Where's that? That's where's my Ethereum story? Oh, here. Yeah, this is from Defiant. But Fidelity's tokenized fund on Ethereum crosses $250 million. The fund has grown 15% in the past month. So why does this matter? Why are we bringing it up? Well, first and foremost, tokenization is key. Number one. Number two, we're talking about a traditional financial giant. And they're going to continue to use Ethereum. BlackRock just filed for an Ethereum staking ETF not so long ago, which essentially they took Bitwise's lead, because Bitwise filed for the Solana staking ETF, which is doing incredibly well. And I like Solana, but a lot of these layer ones, if they're they can become ETFs, and that's going to be great. But they're also going to really have to focus not only on their mission statement, but really creating things that people can use that make sense. And pivoting, like you could still have your underlying message, but it's going to be incredibly important to pivot to other sectors with the underlying message and having that there. This is my opinion. And again, anything BlackRock touches, I'm not going to fade. Why? Why would I? Bitcoin ETFs are now BlackRock's top revenue source, says executive. This story right here is really all we need to know what the future holds. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETFs are now the firm's top revenue source, with allocations nearing $100 billion. They manage over 1,400 ETFs and have 13.4 trillion assets under management. But ibit hit 70 billion in assets in just 341 days, generated an estimated 245 million in annual fees. And BlackRock holds over 3% of all Bitcoin. A lot of paper Bitcoin, baby. Woo! This is why I'm not going to fade Bitcoin. And this is why I probably will take out loans against my assets. My crypto, my Bitcoin. Why? Because I want to buy more property. I don't want to spend my cash to do it, so I can go ahead and do it that way. I want to be just like the banks. I want to use my debt the proper way. But this is why I'm not concerned about Bitcoin's 27% drop. This is why I'm not concerned Bitcoin going to 64,000 or wherever it decides to go. This is my cute little chart over here. I'm monitoring the situation because I am. But we're nearing 80,000. And then from there, which was the original support that I had, was 74,000. 74,000 right over here. It looks like a nice area. Could we bounce before that? And could I be 100% wrong? Yeah. Why not? It's okay to be wrong. But moral of the story is long term is great. It's great. That's long term. We're going to be fine. Bitcoin's going to be fine. Altcoins, not 100% sure yet. We'll see what happens. The saving grace for a lot of these altcoins is going to be the crypto spot ETFs. And whatnot. And again, XRP has done incredibly well positioning themselves. Love it. Hedera has all the right tools. And they're doing exactly what they need to do. So there's going to be a lot of top products that sustain, and be a lot of other ones that go away. That's just me, though. That's just my opinion. But again, I'm a dodo on the internet. All right, so we covered that, but let's get into some other stuff over here. This here. Let me see. We talked about Fidelity. We talked about Tom and Lee. Let's talk a little bit about strategy, though. I think it's important. So, Strategy announces established of 1.44 billion USD reserve and updates FY 2025 guidance. So they have 1.44 billion USD reserve covering about 21 months of dividends funded through at the market stock sales. Updated FY 2025 guidance assumes a Bitcoin year-end price of $85,000 to $110,000, resulting in a wide ranges for operating income, $7 billion to $9.5 billion. And net income is $5.5 to $6.3 billion. Updated Bitcoin KPI targets Bitcoin yield of 22 to 26% and Bitcoin gains of 8.4 to 12.8 billion, supported by additional capital raises and Bitcoin purchases. So, I think that a lot of this is interesting, especially the current state of the market. And then we have this FUD piece over here today. This is 100% FUD. This is, and I'm just saying it correctly. I am not here to slander or to defame or to say anything that's not true, but this is what Peter Schiff said. All right, this is exactly what Peter Schiff said. But basically, he's saying negative things about strategy. Today's a BNN for Master. Saylor was forced to sell stock, not to buy Bitcoin, but the U.S. dollars, merely fund, Master's interest and dividend obligations. Stock is broken. Business model is a fraud. Blah blah. Is MicroStrategy is Michael Saylor a fraud? No. Is what they're doing was what they're doing legal? Yeah. Is it ethical? I don't know if it's ethical or not. I think the stock market's a Ponzi scheme, but I'm here just to make money, just like everybody else, growth ethically within the constraints of the law, ethically and legally. I don't like the model personally, because I think Bitcoin is created for the people, by the people. But guess what? It's part of life. Just because I don't like something, we're operating in a true decentralized economy. I don't get to tell MicroStrategy or Michael Saylor or whomever, you don't get to buy Bitcoin. And they bought Bitcoin today. But Peter Schiff will just say stuff. So you see a lot of pieces like this on X. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because X is the perfect echo chamber to keep you depressed, to keep you poor, and also just to really mess with your mind. I'm probably going to get dinged for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I think that, like, Elon Musk has talked about UBI and AI and that type of stuff. He hasn't directly said UBI, but he's talked about it. And I'm really starting to believe, like, the monetization program that they have and just what gets pushed on that platform, that it's all par for the course, really, to kind of push through UBI. And UBI is about socialism, digital IDs, all of that type of stuff. Just in my opinion, but it's every single social media platform is like that. But at the same time, like, their algorithms work a little bit differently, but that's what I pick up over there. And that also comes with, and again, and I'm not saying, like, I think Michael Saylor is a very intelligent guy. He definitely worked the system the right way. I love to see it. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I like the business model and that is not a Ponzi, because that's what it is. The stock market is literally a Ponzi scheme. You rely on these reports and these numbers and this sample size and your mom.com, and that's okay, but it is what it is. There's always going to be insider information. There's always going to be people that know more than you. There's always going to be somebody on the other side of the trade that's going to outperform you. And it can be based on how hard you work. But at the same time, there's people that got a little bit of ups. But that's how the world works. So instead of just being, oh, this is terrible, da 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 da. Hold on a second. I forget. There's too much drama over here. My stomach. Oh. Is that guy? I don't know. Is that person bad? Who's a scammer? CO Dag? I don't know. Tag them? I can't. It's not coming up. I don't know. Sorry, guys. But moral of the story is, we show up every day. We work really, really, really hard. We understand that the odds may be stacked against us. Some of us that are delulu, that end up doing well, when you become, this is the thing, you can be delusional until you make it. That's what I did. But if you're able to be delusional and be like, you know what, I'm better, I'm smarter, I'm faster, and blah, 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 you can trick yourself into doing better. Life is weird that way. The world works interesting that way. But moral of the story is, I don't shame Michael Saylor for what he's doing in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, I don't like the model. I don't have to like the model. Now, and the interesting thing about that is that this came out. Where is it? Where's the Coinbase thing? We talked about the Tether FUD yesterday. I don't really want to talk about it again. I think it's kind of dumb, personally. Anyways, Coinbase is selecting, like, they're doing this pilot program in New York. They're going to give people like $12,000 in crypto. It's basically UBI. And I've said this, and I will say it again. Coinbase is going to be like the all-in-one bank for crypto. USDC is going to be the CBDC. And it's all going to be integrated together to execute UBI and all that type of stuff. No shame to Coinbase either, because they're here to make money. But I just hope to better from people in crypto. But you can't, that's not the way the world works, and that's okay. So I'm going to do me. And you guys are going to do you, and they're going to do them. And we're here to make as much money as ethically and legally as possible. You hope so? You like Coinbase? You want them to be the big bank and be the issuers of socialism and UBI? Rock on, man. I don't. What else? What else do we need to talk about that I missed? This is another good story telling you where things are shifting right now as far as the privacy narrative goes. DEX has hit all-time high of 419 billion volume despite market corrections. This is according to CoinGecko from Crypto Potato. Now, the reason why this is so important is because they says DEX share of spot trading rose to 20% in 2025, up from 6% in 2021. October saw all-time high of 419.76 billion in DEX spot volume despite market corrections. Perps on DEX's surge, hitting record volumes driven by platforms like Hyperliquid. Shout out to them. But more and more people will continue to do, more and more people will continue to use DEXs. Hopefully some of you will have sexes soon. It's healthy for you, especially boys and girls too. But adults. But moral of the story is a lot of people are not necessarily using crypto exchanges. Why would you? Why would you want to? You don't really need to. Because you could just use a DEX. Moral of the story is we have a lot of FUD that we reported on yesterday. The Tether FUD, that Tether, like, because if the interest rates drop, because it's back to the bond, it's related to the bonds they hold for their solvency and their things, and Tether's going to implode. We hear the Tether drama all the time. In addition to that, you know, strategies, the strategy stuff going on. Can strategy implode? 100%. Will they implode? Not sure yet. We kind of have to monitor the situation. See, I don't want them to implode because then it's going to harm the entire crypto market. But moral of the story is anything could happen. That's something we did talk about on the show. I just don't think the business model is necessarily sustainable. But again, I'm just a bibbo on the internet. I don't come from TradFi, and they're smarter than I am because they make more money than me. And in addition to that, China's talking about banning Bitcoin. Are they really going to ban it? Probably not, because they do a lot of Bitcoin mining there. And then the whole South Korea thing, a lot of people are really mad because apparently in South Korea, they're like fudding South Korea. Yeah, it was Arthur Hayes fudding Tether, but that's fine. I mean, that's what the big boys are going to do. The big boys like to have wiener swinging contests, which I love that. But that's what they do. They fight. That's what crypto Twitter's all been about. But basically, with the South Korean stuff, South Korean investors must complete an hour-long mandatory online training before investing. Some people thought that was FUD. I don't know how that was FUD at all. Like, how could that be FUD? That's a bullish thing because we don't even get that in America. Who banned it? China? I have friends that live in China and it's not banned. So there's that. You know, but again, I'm just a bimbo on the internet. I wouldn't know. There's a lot of people that are smarter than I am. Okay, babies? I just talk for a living. Moral of the story, though, Bitcoin dropped 27% in 1 month. We're okay. BlackRock's profits are coming from, they're making an F ton of money off of the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Bitcoin's not going to zero. It's not going away. We might see some market volatility. Oh my God, crypto and market volatility, but we're fine. If China banned it, they'll just go to Hong Kong. This is the thing. It has been banned and unbanned 960 million times. 607 times, actually. 6-7. My daughter thinks it's so funny when I do that. But moral of the story. Markets are going to be okay. Markets are going to rebound. BlackRock would not be doing what they're doing if it was not profitable. Strategy would not be what it's doing if it was not profitable. Sending you all love and light. Go Hawks! I got to go make a steak and eggs because I'm really hungry. And actually I have to leave because there's this whole production happening today with my daughter and her school that I got to be there for. Got to buy the tickets to the concert. Sending y'all love and light. I'll got some videos coming for you. 2 p.m. PT and 6 p.m. PT. Love you guys.